Tashidelek, namaste, welcome. I'm going to go through the Buddhist 7-point position for meditation. To start, you have your legs crossed with your right leg in front. If you can angle your legs upwards, the proper kind of Indian way, do that. Otherwise, just a regular crossing of the legs is okay. Or on a chair with both feet flat and even. If you have a meditation pillow, you can use that and try to slant it forwards. You could do this by placing something like a notebook or packs of tissues or something behind the back so that it's slightly raised. Personally, I find the circular meditation cushions to be best. Your hands can either be resting on your lap with your palms up, just relaxed, fingers relaxed, nice and open, or with your right hand on top, thumbs gently touching, fingers closed, on the stomach, positioned by the stomach. Either way, your elbows, you should relax by your sides first and then position the hands. This makes sure your hands fall into a natural position, not too far forwards, not too far back. The spine should be straight. Most people don't know how a straight spine feels, so to get the right position of spine, I would suggest first squatting or crouching next to a wall and putting your back against the wall and trying to touch every piece of the spine against the wall so you're nice and straight. And then come away from the wall and hold that position. If you've not done this before, it's going to feel a bit strange, but that's how it feels to have a straight back. When you're in meditation, if you're straining to retain this position, it's not good. So you can slightly loosen up the spine and then practice stretching and yoga or something separately to improve that posture for next time. The chest should be slightly open. So you can do that by kind of bringing up your chest plate, relaxing your shoulders back, letting them drop. And it helps even if you pull up from the center of your head. And imagine you're pulling the spine upwards whilst relaxing the muscles of your body down. And that, it's almost as if you're a coat hanger. This helps to straighten everything out and also loosen it a little bit. Then the head, again, you would pull back so that it's as though you're flat against the wall, and without straining, you pull it back slightly and then drop the chin slightly. The angle of your head will now be slightly downwards with your eyes, your vision, and you can bring them slightly lower than that even, and then relax your eyelids down. If you have them slightly open, this is the more advanced way, but if having your eyes slightly open causes you more distraction than focus, then just pull your eyelids down gently closed. Maybe after some practice, whenever you feel comfortable, a few months, even a year, then try and have your eyes slightly open and continue from there. I often meditate with my eyes closed too, so you don't need to feel like you're, such a beginner thing. It's okay, you can have your eyes closed. Finally, the tip of your tongue should be up against the roof palate of your mouth. I forget how it's called, but curl your tongue up. But do this as one of the last steps, because when you raise the tongue, it strengthens the neck. So if you're strengthening the neck in the wrong position, it's not going to help. So adjust your head first, then raise the tongue, close your eyes, or bring your eyes to a near close. Try not to have your eyelids flickering. Okay. Some tips for meditation. Firstly, when you daydream, don't follow the thoughts. Also, don't try to stop the thoughts. If you try to stop them, the thoughts kind of use that attention to gain more strength. So just gently observe them, acknowledge that they're there in a subtle way, and then just quickly let them fade away and fizzle out. Don't give any energy to the thoughts, don't feed them. If you retain your focus, they will go on their own. Now don't feel bad if you get lost accidentally with your thoughts and you chase them. It's very natural. And in the context of samsara, we have been without meditative focus for an infinite number of lifetimes. So if you come back from your thoughts even once and you remind yourself you should be meditating, this is a success. And it's something to rejoice in, that you've managed to come away from the daydream and back into your meditation. So don't feel bad about wandering off by mistake. Feel happy that you've returned. People like to think if they meditate for 10 minutes and they spend 7 minutes daydreaming, they've wasted 7 minutes. And it took them 5 times of returning back, or even 10 times returning back from the daydreams, just to get those 3 minutes. It's as if they feel like they came to the meditation with 5 minutes worth of meditation before they've even done it, and then they lost 7 somehow. This is a wrong view. You came to the meditation with nothing. You gained 3 minutes of meditation. And you succeeded at coming back from daydreams 5, 10, 15 times. It's a huge profit. And it's one of the first times you've done this, potentially in your entire history of rebirth. So rejoice in that. Don't feel bad. That's the second tip. The third tip is your focus of meditation can be in 3 places. You can focus on the diaphragm's movement, or you can focus on the sort of wet ring around each nostril, right? Or slightly inside, like a bit of a wet tube. You can feel the air, cold air moving in and out. Or you can focus on breathing as kind of a full concept, just gently thinking or not thinking, gently focusing on the entire shift of air, of the movement of your body at once. Personally, I like to focus on the third because it makes the next advice a bit easier to do, where if your mind starts to become too tired, too lax, too sloth, then you focus on the tip of the nostrils and this wakes you up. And then if your mind becomes too anxious or too excited, too lively, thinking, imagining too much, then you shift your focus to the dantian or the diaphragm, and it will calm the mind. If you find that staying in one or the other most of the time as a general place to be is more effective for you, that's fine. Bear in mind that the opposite focus would have the opposite effect on the mind. So if you usually like focusing on the nose, just remember that sometimes if you need to calm down slightly, temporarily shift to the diaphragm and come back when you're ready. Else, if you focus on the entire breath as a whole, it's a bit more of a neutral way to focus on the breath. I forgot to add, with each inward breath, you center yourself. And then with each outward breath, you let go of all tensions. you count each inward breath as 1. Center yourself. Then you let go of all tensions. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When you get to 10, start back from 1. Let your breathing happen naturally. Don't force any breath with the dantian. Don't force your diaphragm. You choose how long you're going to meditate for in advance, and you stick to it each time until perhaps someday in the future you decide to extend your meditations or for some reason shorten them. But you must be strict with this amount of time that you meditate for. You could, if you really want to, judge the time in your mind to make sure it's similar, but I would recommend, if you have an easy way of setting up an alarm, one that doesn't scare you out of the meditation too much, but just gently makes a sound that reminds you it's time to pause. Because if we stop meditating when meditations feel bad, then we generate a feeling of aversion towards the very act of meditating. And if we hold on to our meditations and continue for longer whenever they feel good, then we start to attach to this meditation. And then in the future, if the meditation doesn't feel as good as it did before, again, we'll want to quit. So we should always keep to, say always, I guess it may depend if you're actually having great realizations. I'm not too sure. But in general, as a general normal rule of thumb, we should keep to these times that we set for ourselves. 10 minutes in the morning can work. So 5 minutes for each of the types of morning meditation, and then 10 in the evening, 5 minutes for each. Ideally though, 20 would be better, particularly because when you practice 4 opponent powers, it's difficult to get through the 4 opponent powers in the space of 5 minutes. There are 10 things to apply the 4 opponent powers to. Each of them really needs at least a minute. So you can start with 5 minutes total, then after a while it would be good to extend to 10. Have 20 minutes morning meditation, 20 minutes evening, and over time, if you become consistent and serious enough, you can upgrade that even further. That depends on you though. Okay, I think that's that. I'll upload 2 separate meditation videos shortly after this, so enjoy. Namaste. Om Mani Padme Hum.
Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum.